most competitive junior racing series in the world, here's the Italian Formula 4 Championship, which gets underway here, ironically in the south of France, at the Paul Ricard Grand Prix circuit. We'll bring you the action shortly. Also on today's program, we'll check out the highlights from the first two rounds of the WSK Supermasters series of karting. Welcome to a brand new season. The 2021 championships start now. Of the Italian F4 Championship, new names, new teams and another record entry of 37 drivers from 12 teams representing 17 nations arrived at the home of the French Grand Prix, Paul Ricard, one of 5 current Formula 1 circuits on the calendar for the first round of the 2021 championship. Seven cars on track for qualifying, and despite the Paul Ricard circuit being almost 6 kilometres in length, traffic would still play a part in sorting the grids for the season opener. Tim Tramnitz set the time to beat early in Q1 and for much of the session held pole ahead of his US racing teammate Vlad Lomko. Kirill Small was languishing back in 31st position, but ominously went purple in Sector 1, purple in Sector 2, and ultimately took pole position for Race 1 of 2021.
Yeah, even the track is quite big, but it's still quite difficult to find a free spot because it's really a lot of cars and everyone want to find a good slipstream, good gap to not get a dirty ear, and it was quite difficult to find a free place, but I managed to do that in Q1. Cannot say that about Q2 because I get quite a bit of traffic, so I managed not to do a good lap, but still quite good qualifying for me.
Tramnitz again quickest early in qualifying too before Ollie Bierman, now with Van Amersfoort Racing, stopped the clocks with a time of 2:02.999, storming to pole for race 2.
Yeah, I think it was a really good quali. Got some free space, managed to get the laps in. Yeah, I'm really happy with the result.
Tramnitz finally with his second quickest time overall, taking pole for race 3.
Find a good gap is very difficult. In quali, it worked pretty well for me in both ones. Especially in the second one, I had free air. So, yeah, just very good with the timing, I would say. And yeah, of course, in practice, we already learned about our mistakes with traffic. And yeah, happy that we had free air now in quali.
The 2021 WSK Supermasters series of karting is raced over 4 events, the first 2 of which were held on the circuits of Adria and La Conca, the home of WSK promotion. In the 60 mini category, as always, the competition is as tight as ever. But if there can be a favourite, it has to be René Lammers. The Dutch driver is peaking at just the right time, just before making the jump to the junior class. And he's quick and consistent as ever too. This was demonstrated at Adria, when he kept Yannick Churovsky behind him throughout the final until the last lap, and then not giving the Polish driver a chance to attack. Again, next time out at La Conca, he shows his strength of character when he has to start at the back of the grid in the final. And although he doesn't make the podium, he doesn't miss it by much either. Christian Kostoya takes the victory by just 0.009 of a second over Matthias Orwella, with Jeddah Skulinov in third. The 2 Paralin Motorsport teammates congratulate each other in Parc Ferme after an amazing race. Following the first 2 rounds of the series, the junior class is wide open. If Rashid Al-Daheri was in full control of the situation at Adria, after cruising through the heats, winning his pre-final and then dominating the final, the following round at La Conca proves to be a nightmare for the driver from the United Arab Emirates. Not so much for lacking in speed, but for a rare pre-final error. A DNF and 0 points from the second round. Alex Powell takes full advantage of this, finally returning to victory lane in WSK ahead of Akshay Bora a year after jumping to the junior category. The retirement on Saturday of Andrea Antonelli at Adria's opening round marked a sensation at the start of the OK Championship. The Mercedes AMG Junior still not fully recovered from the injuries sustained at the end of 2020. No problem for the KR team as Lindblad and Kamara continued to set the pace in their teammates' absence. In Adria's final, Lindblad made contact just after the start, incredibly, with Kamara. The Englishman is out, and the Brazilian is forced into a truly spectacular comeback, passing Pashovic, Zoloff, Badoer, Villa and Ugachuku, taking the lead on the penultimate lap and an amazing victory. At La Conca, the tune does not change, with the KR team again on top. Antonelli back for round 2 was the early leader, but was passed by Kamara, who looked set for his second victory, until he himself was chased down by Lindblad, the Englishman taking the win to stand on the top step of La Conca's famous podium. Kamara does still hold the championship lead at the halfway point of the series. KZ only raced at the first round of Adria before taking a bye at La Conca, but then returning for Sano and Lonato. And Adria was a land of conquest for Victor Gustafsson, who in the early stages of the season seems to be unrivaled. The only one to challenge the Swede and his Charles Leclerc kart is Juho Valtonen. The Finn, in only his third career race in the gearbox class, leads the final for the first 10 laps. But Gustafsson is ruthless when he attacks, and he immediately establishes a small gap of a few tenths, which then becomes a few seconds. At the end of the 20 laps, the final podium is Gustafsson 1, Valtonen 2, and Chalenta 3rd. The halfway point of the championship before the series resumes at the all-new Sano with its notoriously high speeds, and the classic Lonato for the series final. The field, you can see, will start behind the safety car. That is because just a few moments ago it started raining here on the French Riviera. The race has officially started as we set off behind the safety car. So the second lap under the control of race direction behind the safety car. At the end of the second lap, the pace car, the safety car, pulls into pit lane. Small leads them around the point turn. Accelerates down the straight in the 2021 Formula 4 Championship powered by Arbath. Is go. We race for the first time in 2021. A nice getaway already from Small. There's Tim in second place, back to Ollie Bierman. Further back they go side by side down into turn 1. A clean start, thankfully, for the moment, for the first of 3 races this weekend. The end of the second racing lap of the first round, the first race of the Italian F4 Championship. For a moment it looked as though it was the Russian. It's not. That's Kirill going down in to turn 1 with a nice lead of 0.8 of a second. We'll try and pick up who that was. It's Lorenzo Patrese. Lorenzo has pulled down into pit lane after running on the edge of the top 10. The Italian may have sustained damage, who was racing really close to Josh Dirksen in the opening stages of the race. Lorenzo Patrese pulls down into pit lane as Tim Tramitz just stares at his left mirror. Here's Montoya, gets the toe. Lomko tries to cover him off, down into the chicane. Lomko goes to fancy Sebastian on the outside. Sebastian will get the run as Lomko puts the 69 car right in the middle of the circuit. Nikita Bedren fighting with Francesco Simonazzi, and behind him is Hans Sanyu as well. This is lap 11 of the first race of the weekend. Ben Svelin going through. just ahead of Jonas Reed, another second-generation racer for BW Team Mooka Motorsports. This is the 12th lap of race 1 here at Paul Ricard. Conrad Larsen has fallen back to 7th place. Victor Bernier has gone by him. There is Leonardo and Luke Brownie as well. Not the best start for the Brit. Luke is in position 8. Sebastian still cannot get by. Now dives down the inside of the chicane. A move by Sebastian, clips the ripple strip. Lonco does likewise. Montoya cuts back. Fabulous pass. You can see at the top of your screen, we have probably on the second last lap at the moment. Small 3.3 seconds ahead of Tim, who still holds Ollie behind him. Fabulous fight for the second and third steps of the podium. Race 1 of the Italian F4 Championship, powered by Albath, presented by WSK Promotion. Tim in car 70, Ollie just behind. You can see they certainly are fighting for grip after a few drops of rain before the start. There is Pedro, well, precariously placed on the ripple strip in the chicane halfway down the back Mistral straight. It is a local yellow, double waved yellow in fact, at turn 8. Pedro still in the car. So the safety car is out on the circuit in the dying stages. Race 1, round 1 of the Italian F4 Championship for 2021. Kirill Small in P1, Tim Trumnitz in P2 and Bierman in P3. But the safety car procedure is in place. We have passed full race distance. Kirill Small in P1. It's a one-lap sprint. Well, 100-metre sprint anyway, as race control confuses us. There is the checkered flag. Kirill Small does take the victory in race 1, round 1 of the Italian F4 Championship. Tim Trumnitz home in second place, and Ollie Bierman comes home in third. Great drive from Victor Bernier to finish in P4 from Vlad Lonco in position 5. Kirill Small, a deserving race winner here in Paul Ricard.
I mean, it was scary more in the beginning because we were starting in the slick tires while it was raining, but we get lucky with the safety car start, so we get tempered on the tires, and I knew that everything what I have to do is to find my pace and go there, because it's quite difficult to follow the car in this track. So I just found my pace and I was following it until the end of the race.
Welcome to the not-so-beautiful south of France this morning. You can see it as an overcast day, but the track is dry. We are getting ready to race race 2, round 1. A long wait as the final cars form into position. The green flag at the back of the grid for the second time this weekend. We race. Great start from the second row of the grid by Luke Browning, who avoids Ollie Bierman. The Brit from pole stalls. Browning storms into the start from the second row of the grid. Tim Trumnitz may well follow him through into second place for a US Racing 1-2. A disaster for the pole sitter Ollie Bierman. Carnage at the back of 2 as the Jensen Motorsport cars come together. One stuck into the barriers. That's not a good sign. We'll tell you who that is in just a moment. As in fact, is Tim Trumnitz, who is now in the lead. It may well have been Tim who has got the race lead from the start. There is the order at the bottom of your screen. We're trying to keep one ear open for word from race control. There is the Jensen Motorsport car of Francesco Braschi. Tim leads them across the line. Luke in second place. There's Sebastian trying to get the toe on the back of the Brit. The reigning British F4 champion from 2020 holds off Montoya, goes in deep. Sebastian tries to line him up. There's Josh Dirksen up into P5. behind Lomko. He's the top Russian at the moment. Behind Josh is Kirill Small and Nikita Bedrin. Incredibly, we are still green. There's cars littered around the circuit. Benz Valint. It is the German driver for the German team here in the south of France, leading the Italian series, the Russian who won yesterday in this mega international field. Kirill Small, the fastest driver on the circuit, will line up and try and have another attack on his teammate, Sebastian Montoya. Kirill Small tries to keep it as straight as possible. Wow! Konrad Lausen into the back of Victor Bernier. Clean restart as we look at Sebastian Montoya trying to defend from his teammate. Kirill all over the back of Sebastian as Luke Browning goes in deep, almost misses the corner. The same can be said for, it looked to be Josh Dufek for Vernemersort Racing as well. Does make the corner. Montoya has a look at the back of Luke Browning. Mal goes down the inside, he's got the inside line into the chicane. The ruthless racing Russian who won race 1 yesterday takes his teammate Montoya back to P4. Coming together further back. Oh wow, big impact between Semi Megotunev. Great restart already, we have not even rounded La Courbe du Pont. The point corner comes down the main straight now, and finally, after a very slow walking pace, restart. Tim Tramnitz leads the field down the straight again. Lap 11 as Kirill Small all over the back of Luke Browning. Around the outside goes the Russian, tries to take second place. And Luke, last year's British F4 champion, says no to Kirill Small. Montoya capitalizes on that, the Colombian-American in P4. A replay of what happened 1 lap ago coming on to the start-finish straight. Pedro Perino, oh wow, coming together, big contact with one of the Prema Power Team drivers. Watch this, it was as Tim leads them down the straight. This is the final lap of the race now. The final chance for Kirill Small. Very unlikely to go 2 in a row as Montoya and Lomko side by side down into turn 1. Montoya locks up the inside front. Lomko over the back of him. There's Josh Dirksen in the background. P6, the Paraguayan, trying to capitalize as well. Incredible defensive driving from Montoya, Lomko, and now Josh Dirksen. Goes to the right of your screen, now to the left. Before I finish that sentence, he's darted across, zigzagging IndyCar style. I wonder where he learned that from. Lomko tries to make the move up the inside. Montoya holds his nerve, and the Prema Power Team driver holds the place. Dirksen, fabulous pass, goes P5 on the final lap of the race. The checkered flag is about to wave. It's the German driver, the German team here in the south of France. Wins race 2 of the Italian F4 Championship. Fabulous victory for Tim Tramnitz. Luke Browning makes it a US Racing 1-2. And Kirill Small with that will take the championship lead.
The car felt really good, so I was able to push quite hard and was able to build quite a big gap again directly in 2 laps to the end. So yeah, unbelievable race.
Good afternoon as we welcome you to Paul Ricard, the Grand Prix circuit on the French Riviera for race 3, round 1 of the 2021 Italian F4 Championship. Finally, the green flag, race 3, round 1 for the final time this weekend at Paul Ricard. We race. Not the best start once again for Ollie Bierman. Slots into second. He might be beaten by Montoya, who dives down the inside. Super start from Tim Tramnitz. His teammate Luke Browning over the ripple strip. And will go into 3rd place. The first of the Van Amersfoort racing cars coming through. as 37 junior drivers make their way through the first few corners, coming onto the Mistral Straight for the first of what we expect to be 14 times this afternoon. Tim Tramnitz goes into the lead nicely. Montoya on the inside has to defend from Luke Browning. Goes in deep, he'll be vulnerable on the exit. Luke just behind, then it's Vlad Lomko, contact! Oh no, Nikita Bedrin has come together with his countryman Kirill Smol. Can you believe the two Russians come together? What a disaster for the driver that many are tipping to take the 2001 championship on the podium this morning, P3. He won race 1 yesterday. This afternoon, he's out. Over the ripple strip, has no steering, and wow, comes in sideways and takes out. Can you believe they are the two Russians? Nikita, an innocent bystander in that. Bedrin is out. Sebastian on your screen. There's Josh Dirksen, third year in Formula 4 for the Paraguayan, for the BWT Muka Motorsport team. Tim Tramnitz is gone. Sebastian Montoya under enormous pressure. Luke Browning tries the inside, it becomes the outside, and Ollie sits there right as well. Montoya for the moment holds him off. It's the final race of the weekend. There's nothing to lose. There's Fornaroli in the background along with Josh Dirksen. They're three wide briefly through the sweeper. Luke goes through once again. It's a US Racing 1-2. Montoya tries to fight back. Vlad Lomko again on the outside. It becomes the inside. Tries to take Ollie Bierman as well. Fornaroli and Josh Dirksen. We go back to Simonazzi. There's Humder in the background. They're not far if this battle continues to dragging themselves in as well. Montoya on the outside runs off the circuit. There's Simonazzi and Humder in the background trying to get the slipstream, joining in this battle, which is for the final steps of the podium. Tramnitz disappears down into turn 1. His teammate Luke in P2. Ollie Bierman has taken Montoya. Ollie goes third place. Montoya under attack from Vlad Lomko and Leonardo Fornaroli and Josh Dirksen. What a race here this afternoon. In the number 6 Prema Power Team car, Sebastian checks the mirrors. Right behind him is the ruthless Russian. Vlad Lomko dives up the inside and takes the place. Fabulous pass by Vladislav Lomko. And Leonardo Fornaroli says grazie mille, and the Italian takes Montoya as well. Sebastian going backwards. A fantastic race. This is why this is the most competitive junior motor racing series in the world, as Fornaroli now tries the outside of Vladislav Lomko. This happened just a few moments ago. Levente Revesh going down the inside, making contact big time with the other Mexican, Eric Zuniga. Wow. Enormous damage to the rear end of the 23 BWT Muka Motorsport car. Ollie Bierman, car 87 in third place. Damage further back in the pack, which has taken out Vittorio Catino. And his teammate, can you believe, has come together with Nico Baptiste, the Colombian. Look at this, Nico Baptiste coming together with Vittorio Catino. They went side by side down into the chicane. Oh, the teammates. Gabriele Rose, the team manager, will have to control something. Incredibly has managed to hold the position as Montoya has a big look at the back of Fornaroli on the final corner of the penultimate lap. There's Dirksen and Dufek. Josh versus Josh. The last lap board comes out. Tim races down the start-finish straight. He is just under 6 kilometers away from taking victory and the championship lead in the Italian F4 Championship. Fornaroli holds off the attack of Montoya. No problem for Tim. Races down through the hill into the final corner for the final time. He goes 2 out of 3, Tim Tramnitz from Hamburg. The German wins again here in the south of France. Tramnitz wins race 3 of the Italian F4 Championship. He is now the series leader after we wrap up the first round of the 2021 Championship. Bierman across the line in second place. Look at this further back in the race. So the German driver for the German team comes out on top after the first round of the Italian Championship is raced in France. Tim Tramnitz, with 2 wins and a podium, has made a great start to the series, which he leads by 28 points over race 1 winner Kirill Small on 40. A single point ahead of Ollie Bierman, then comes Vlad Lomko, Luke Browning, Montoya on 22 points, tied with the top Italian Leonardo Fornaroli. We hope you enjoyed today's action. Next time we'll be at the MotoGP circuit of Misano on the Adriatic coast of Italy as the championship continues on. Thanks for watching. We'll see you then.